Hey there, my wedding planning friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I'm Emily Summer. I'm a wedding planner based in Montana, and I make weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice. So today we're talking all about your wedding photos, and this is especially for you couples out there that are maybe not super comfortable in front of a camera, and you might be dreading that part of your wedding day a little bit and feeling comfortable getting your photo taken all day at your wedding. So today's video is 8 tips for posing for your wedding photos. First thing that I always like to relay to clients if they are feeling a little bit uneasy or nervous or kind of dreading the aspect of getting your picture taken all day is to try and relax. And I know that sounds so basic and trivial. It's so important to relax, and your photos are going to be so much better if you are able to just have a little bit of fun with it and be able to relax and not be so focused on the fact that a camera is going to be on you all day. And I know this can be easier said than done, so this is why it's very important to have a photographer that makes you feel comfortable. And if you are somebody that's not very comfortable in front of the camera, have a photographer that emphasizes more candid kind of styles and less posing, and that you're able to kind of just communicate and feel comfortable with, and maybe be able to joke around with, and just feel comfortable in their overall presence. And they're going to be able to capture photos that are going to feel a lot more natural and make you feel relaxed. This is also why doing an engagement session with your wedding photographer is something I always recommend. Most wedding photographers will include that in a lot of their packages, so I definitely recommend taking them up on that so that you have an opportunity to kind of go through a bit of a trial run with them. You can kind of practice getting your photo taken so your wedding day isn't the first time you're having to take pictures with your partner, and you also get a sense of comfortability with that photographer if you have previously worked with them already as well. 2, be conscientious of your posture throughout the day. So like even right now, as I'm saying that, I need to sit up, shoulders back, sit up straight. So if you're sitting at your dinner table for toasts, or even when you're just walking, I know it's pretty easy to kind of fall into a fairly comfortable stance or seated position, and it's going to make your photos just that much better if you are a little bit more conscientious of how you're sitting, how your posture is. And that doesn't mean that you need to be, prim and proper all day long, but during your formal portraits, that's just something to be aware of and keep in mind. Easiest little shift of taking a deep breath and kind of letting your shoulders roll back and sit up nice and straight. Number 3, empty your pockets. This is particularly important for grooms or anyone that's going to be wearing pants. However, I know it's super exciting when a dress has pockets and we want to put all kinds of stuff in there, and that's fine. Utilize that on your wedding day how you need. But when you are taking your portraits or walking down the aisle or anything that's going to be pretty heavily documented, please just take everything out of your pockets. It may not seem like it's going to be visible, but you might be standing in some kind of a pose where your leg is out and your dress or your pants are going to be a little bit more fitted to your leg, and you can see anything that's inside of them, and that's super distracting in a picture. So do yourselves a favor, just make sure your pockets are empty. 4, this one is for grooms or just men in general that are going to be wearing a suit jacket. Keep the jacket buttoned unless for your photographer's prompt or for some other kind of style of photo they recommend otherwise. But for your standard portraits, have the jacket buttoned. Not only is this going to give a more polished look for the pictures, but it's also more flattering on the body as well. Number 5, if you are feeling uncomfortable at all, especially during just your couple's photos when it's just the two of you, if at any point you're feeling uncomfortable or you're feeling too stiff, just look at your partner. Not only will that probably make you feel more comfortable in the moment, but it also takes you out of kind of the structure of getting your photo taken and more in the moment with your partner, and that alone is going to make such great pictures too. So if ever you're feeling super uncomfortable, just shoot a quick moment to make eye contact, and then whatever comes naturally after that is probably going to be a great photo. Number 6, let your photographer kind of prompt you, and don't feel the need to constantly be posing or be over posing or feeling stiff. This is going to result in very unnatural photos. Let your photographer kind of prompt you into either a moment, like a candid moment, and using prompts to interact with each other, or prompt you into a position that might feel weird to you, but trust the process with your photographer, as they probably know what they're doing and going to get you into a position that is going to feel and look natural for your photos. Number 7, this should go without saying, but I don't think it does. Make sure that you are removing all of your hair ties, any bracelets that aren't like your nicer wedding jewelry, rings, anything like that that isn't just a part of your wedding accessories. Just be aware of items that are on your body that are not supposed to be there. And number 8, don't lock your knees or your elbows. And this goes for not only preventing passing out, especially on a warm day if you're standing and taking portraits for a long time, but it's also going to feel a lot more natural if your limbs are more naturally bent. And again, your photographer is going to help you to get into a position that's a little bit more comfortable. But if things are just not feeling very natural or feeling too stiff, the first thing that you can think to do is maybe bend your knee a little bit, or pop your hip out a little bit, or do something that requires some sort of movement with your limbs to get yourself into a more natural position. Because stiff legs and stiff arms are going to make everything feel and look more forced and really show that you are looking uncomfortable, probably even more so than you actually are. Wedding photos are a pretty big part of your wedding day, and I just recently did a video on the 25 photos that you must get at your wedding. So if you are super out of your element when it comes to wedding pictures, not even sure what to expect with the photos that you're going to get or what you should prioritize with your pictures, check that video out to give you some ideas on what to chat about with your photographer and be expected to take on your wedding day. And hopefully these tips will help you to be a little bit more comfortable and achieve some wedding photos that you will be proud and excited to look back on after your wedding day. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to get weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice, and we'll see you next week.